Dodgers and Phillies. I thought the Phillies were going to win game one, especially when they got out to the 3-0 lead. But give the Dodgers credit and Ohtani credit. And Dave Roberts, where every other manager really has had the sense of urgency of getting the starter out. And with Ohtani, they've really managed him with kid gloves a lot. They let him stay in there and grind through, that game to give them a chance to stay in it. And he did his job. Right after that inning, he shut down the Phillies. And then the bullpen did too. And Teoscar Hernandez with a big home run to put them out in front. That was a really good win for the Dodgers in Philadelphia.
Well, I think also, Dave Roberts looking at his bullpen, knowing that it isn't necessarily at its fullest strength. And I think you need to lean on Ohtani right after that second inning. Things got a little shaky, left some pitches over the plate. Give it credit to JT Realmuto. But I thought seeing him bounce back, you're not only going to need that in this series, but if you're going to win the World Series, you're going to need Ohtani to be able to give you more, right? And I think seeing him respond in a way that maybe he hasn't been challenged as much because he hasn't thrown as many innings this year is important for him. And then be able to go out and get that swing and miss. That's what helps you go deeper into this game is you're able to get strikeouts. I think he had 9 of them. And then Teoscar, who playoff Teo, like he's just a different
Tay-Tay.
beast. Yeah. No, they don't call him Tay-Tay. No, they don't do that to him, Steve. Don't do that to him.
Life of a showboy. Tay-Tay.
His opposite field power right now is really being shown up. And I think they've elected to challenge him away, right? Teams have challenged him away. Even go back to the Cincinnati series, challenging him away, him going right center. He's getting to both sets of pitches on the inner half and the outer half. It makes the lineup that much more dangerous.
Yeah, it does. Now, the other thing of concern was Harrison Bader, right? Ended up getting dinged up a little bit in center field.
Yeah.
And he's been so important to the Phillies, and diving for a ball was hurt. And so it's a little unclear what his availability is going to be. And that's kind of a big, he has come in, he's hit, and he has cleaned up the defense for them in center field to make them a really much better defensive team. And so you wonder a little bit about his availability and the impact on that. Now you got Jesus Luzardo on the mound against Blake Snell. And Snell is a really good postseason pitcher coming off of a 7-inning performance in the wild card round. It feels like, man, the Dodgers with the win in game one have put themselves in a pretty good spot.
Man, and I'll go back to a couple of things. Snell looked great. Dave Roberts, again, let him go deeper, which tells you where he's at. But also look at now the bullpen too, Steve. Like if I have Glass now available out of the bullpen, and Roki Sasaki has turned into something ridiculous. I don't know. He went back to the minor leagues and has come back with that killer mentality with his stuff. So now you have another piece in the back end now that got to save, so can save games, high leverage situations. I think you're seeing the trust from Dave Roberts. They're looking like the maximum of what they're capable of doing now from both offensive side and pitching. And even Kike Hernandez, right? The lineup is just too deep right now. And I think for the Phillies, they've got to find a way to answer back with runners in scoring position. 1 for 7 with runners in scoring position. They're going to have their chances. This is too dangerous of a Phillies lineup. Now you have to find ways to cash in to be able to beat the Dodgers.
Yeah, I tell you, I'm worried for the Phillies right now. I just worry about their offense. And they need Schwarber to mash. They need Bryce Harper to mash. And 13 they had 12 strikeouts in the game that day. Schwarber 0 for 4 with 3 strikeouts. Harper 1 for 4 with 2 strikeouts. Marsh striking out a couple times. They need the ball put in play and the production there. And you look at it, Turner, the catalyst, not getting on. And so they've got to come out of the gates tonight This is clearly in a 5-game series, if you're down 1-0, this is a huge one, because winners of game 1 in a 5-game series going to win 72% of the time. And so the pressure is on right now to get that turnaround and back to a 1-1 and try to become one of that 28%. For the Cubs, they're going to start Shota Imanaga tonight, and Aaron Ashby getting the start for the Brewers. Now, Ashby did pitch out of the bullpen for a good part of the season. The likelihood is that they're going to have him in to start the game to deal with Michael Busch and Kyle Tucker in that first inning. Right? So the lefty coming in there, the lefty coming in there to handle a couple of the left-handed hitters before they go to Quinn Priester, who just has pitched so successfully this year for Milwaukee overall. And so what I find so funny and fun is, Pat Murphy and Craig Counsell know each other so well as they've worked together for years in Milwaukee. And Murphy was the bench coach for Counsell. He was his college coach at Notre Dame. But neither of them would announce their starter until the last second that they had to, just to not give the other side time to prepare. And it's the kind of thing that, like, I would do if it was me and you going against each other, Xavier. In fact, I might actually say that somebody's going to start and then just say, oh, I changed my mind, and change it up on you just because I thought it would be kind of fun to get you riled up a little bit. That's what it feels like with Craig Counsell and Pat Murphy.
See, the difference is it wouldn't matter to me. I'd still be able to get to you. Those things don't affect me. Like, that would affect you. It would rattle you in the dome, but it wouldn't rattle me. So I have
if the game wasn't being played, if the game wasn't being played in the dome, I'd be okay in the open air stadium. Just it wouldn't rattle. It would only rattle me if the roof was closed. You're right.
Like, the roof, the right number. Like, you told me you if you didn't have the right number, you would be rattled. Like, those things are just those are external factors that would get to you, Steve. That's where I would be more locked in, like a Trey Savage, and it wouldn't even matter to me. So the perfect example is the Brewers coming off of no momentum, right? And I think this will go into game 2, how aggressive they were early in the count against Boyd. We're swinging that first pitch. I don't care if it is middle, if it is too far away, if it's a slider, fastball. They were aggressive first pitch. And that's why after Michael Busch hit the home run in the first inning, they were able to take that momentum back quickly. So I'm interested to see, how does Imanaga respond as far as how he pitches and goes about navigating this Brewers lineup. Does he go back to that fastball at the top of the zone that he used against the Padres until Manny Machado and who else got him? At least Manny Machado got him. I'm trying to remember who else got it. But
maybe Xander Bogaerts might have gotten him too.
Yeah, so seeing that, how does he dissect them? And then on the other side, Quinn Priester, when he comes into this game, how does he go at the Cubs lineup and kind of is it the same way Freddie Peralta did? Because Peralta had a lot of success with that four-seam fastball at the top.
Yeah, I'm mostly concerned after on the TV side watching the two guys on the riding lawnmowers cutting the grass in Milwaukee at the stadium. Like, you know how they cut stripes into the field and the sort of shapes, or they'll do a design, like they look like they were all over the place. Like, I wonder what that grass is going to look like tonight. No, I'm going to watch just to see what the grass, because those two guys riding next to each other seemed a little confused. And so, they usually try to put these parallel lines and perpendicular lines and right angles and everything. It seemed to me that there was a lot of loops and circles being made on that grass that they might have to be checked out a little bit.
Are you trying to have everybody hate you today? Like, no. There's no doubt that the grounds crew probably has MLB Network on right now in their room watching you talk about them not putting the field together the right way. Like, you know what you're doing with the lawnmower. Like, why would anybody even listen to that?
I mean, they're driving like in crooked lines and stuff right now.
They're doing exactly what they need to do. They're going side by side, creating the perfect parallel lines in the grass.
Earlier, it looked like one guy was going rando. He was driving anywhere he wanted to on the grass, and so that's going to be an interesting design that they have there. But I will tell you that how quickly the Brewers came out of the gate offensively. I tip my hat to the Blue Jays and John Schneider and the coaching staff and Pat Murphy and his staff that, we've seen how that layoff can be a disadvantage. The record was 6-6 since 2023 in this format. The teams that have come out of the wild card have won half of the division series, and teams that had the off days have won half. And remember, the teams that have the off days and that have the byes are the best teams in the league that get a bye and avoid the wild card round. And yet it's 6-6. And so it has proven to be a little bit of a disadvantage. But Milwaukee came out, guns a-blazing, man. They came out, they were swinging the bat. Now, that was in part Matthew Boyd, but they were prepared to hit mistakes, and they did it. And the Blue Jays, the same way, came out in that way. And so maybe there is starting to figuring out a little bit of a formula with it. The commissioner, when it was asked about it before, said, I think at some point it will level off and we'll see the advantage that is really there to have the break. I don't know, but Milwaukee looks like they're unstoppable. Now, what do you make of Aaron Ashby starting with the notion that maybe in the first inning he can keep Michael Busch in the ballpark and Kyle Tucker in the ballpark as they move Tucker up to the 3 spot, and at least you got a lefty going after, a couple of better left-handed hitters in the first inning, and then consider bringing Priester in later?
Yeah, well, let me say something about your fact about the bye. I think first it depends on what your roster looks like and what you've done throughout the course of the season, right? So an example of that would be like if I have a Brewers team that's been great all season long in most aspects of the game, like if I'm going to start a guy that off of 3 days rest in Matthew Boyd, like I think that gives them the best opportunity to build momentum as an offense, right? I think it would be different if you have an ace that is coming fresh and, maybe pitched game 1 and didn't and dominated and then came back and was a different type of style of pitcher. You might have had a different game 1, right? And I think the same can be said for a team like the Blue Jays, right? And them being able to come offensively early, scoring runs, big swings early. So I'll say that the thing about Ashby, I think that's smart, right? Be able to match up your best lefty coming out of the bullpen, being able to face their best lefties, guys that have had some powerful swings this course of this offseason or this postseason. Kyle Tucker has to be a factor, right? Like there's no doubt in my mind that the Cubs do not go into the next series if they don't have Kyle Tucker be a factor in this lineup. He's got to come up with the big swing. I believe he will do so, but they've got to answer back offensively.
Yeah, and look, they have to find a way to contain the offense there. William Contreras, you mentioned it, how good he looked coming back from that hand injury where he got hit with the catcher's interference. And so he looked good swinging the bat. But the Churio injury is an important one. Like your leadoff hitter who had 3 hits in his first 3 at-bats, now with a hamstring injury. They've got a lot of energy in the other guys, Isaac Collins and Blake Perkins. And they've got others who can fill in and who have filled in during the course of the year and did it admirably. But it is going to be interesting to see. And how limiting it is because if they put Churio on, or replace him on the roster, as you had mentioned earlier, then he won't be eligible for the next round. He won't play in the league championship series, and that would be even worse. Now, here's the thing. They've got to evaluate where that hamstring is and what his accountability, his ability to get back in the lineup of play. And the same thing for Harrison Bader with the Phillies. These in-series dings that guys take really make it difficult to figure out how to manage your way through it.
Well, Steve, I think this is my concern about Churio because it's a power speed combination, 21 years old, quick twitch movements is his game. And like to have him go out there, which, he may be available in the next series. He may be available late this series. We don't know yet, but to have him go out there after tweaking it, like he's not going to be full go. Like, I think we understand he's not going to be 100%. And is it good to have Jackson Churio kind of playing while nursing something and knowing that his game is quick twitch movements, going first to home, being able to steal a bag, outfield defense, beating out a ball infield hit, which we saw. Like, those are a big part of his game. So I just hope it's not a detriment to his game in this lineup if he continues to play on it.